All right, today's first question is why does my breakthrough take so much time? Well, honestly, that question is something we probably need to dig into a little deeper, and here's why. I taught a piece of material not long ago that I have a whiteboard lesson on and also a video in face-to-face on YouTube that I invite you to check out. That piece of material is what's known as the 7 levels of life mastery, okay? There are 7 distinct levels of life mastery that when followed in sequential order speeds up the process, okay? The tricky part is people can either start at number 1, which is the awakening, if you will, okay, which is like you finally being aware that you want to change something about your life and you want to dig deeper and kind of get there, all the way up to the ultimate area of mastery, okay, and there's several steps in between, so I invite you to check that out. But that time that is spent going from point A to point B or from number 1 to number 7 could take you 12 months, it could take you 24 months, or it could take you a lifetime. It's all about how far along you are on the process and are you really getting started. One of the things that I find that makes breakthrough so difficult for people is they refuse to do what we refer to as the 4 phases of transformation, okay? They never get started in gaining perspective, okay, which is phase 1, understanding that they need to look at things at a different angle, understand where things are coming from, understand what they want and why, understand who can help them kind of go on the process, right? And then they never go into really phase 2. Or if they do phase 1 really well, where they gain a lot of perspective, they decide, hey, I want to go this direction, I want to do this kind of thing, I want to do this. They forget that they have to remove roadblocks, which is phase number 2, okay? Removing roadblocks is coming in a lot of different fashions, all right? Which is why one of the reasons why we do a deep dive with Transform You specifically on removing roadblocks, okay? It could be a trauma. It could be a personality conflict. Okay, it could be an emotional situation like a limiting belief. Okay, all of these are different potential areas that roadblocks happen in our lives. So even if you gain perspective and you start on the journey, if you don't fix the roadblocks and actually remove and replace it, then what happens is that roadblock ends up being like a ball and chain to your foot. Okay, allowing you only to make slow progress. Okay. Because in many respects, you might actually be avoiding pain that you may need to go through or sacrifice you may need to go through to finally break that chain for once and for all right? The next 2 phases are organize a plan and work a plan. Most people get hung up in phase 1 and phase 2, which is why I've spent a little bit of time explaining it to you, okay? But to have a better understanding of that, you need to understand where you are on the journey. And you understand where you're on the journey by looking at the 7 levels of life mastery. I know it's 2 distinct concepts. Let me break that down one more time. I want to understand where I am on the journey, okay? 7 levels of life mastery. Again, you can find it on YouTube, both in the face-to-face lessons and the whiteboard lessons, okay? The next concept is the underlying concept, which is how transformation occurs, okay? That's what we refer to as the grow, all right? The 4 phases of transformation is grow. Gain perspective, remove roadblocks, organize a plan, and work your plan, okay? If you are not getting breakthrough in the time that you want to get, there's either 2 things going on. Either you haven't addressed a perspective issue or a roadblock issue, or you're simply being impatient, all right? I have done both. I have both been impatient, and I've also failed to understand areas in my life that needed to be hashed out and worked on, right? Which means I wasn't being objective. I wasn't honestly looking at my life, trying to look for things that I could discover about myself that needed either to be amplified or improved, okay? I wasn't taking the time to actually dig in and see what roadblocks were continuing to bite me in my hiney, right? There's a good chance that some of your close friends and family could probably tell you what some of those roadblocks are. You know, do you get defensive easy when you talk to people, right? Those are simple things that actually impede breakthrough, all right? So here's the trick. Step number 1, I want you to go back to YouTube and I want you to go actually search out the 7 levels of life mastery, all right? And I want you to watch those videos. And then I want you to ask yourself, where am I in the process, all right? I then want you to go watch the other video on the Grow Framework specifically, the 4 phases of transformation, okay? And I want you to do a deep dive there and figure out some of the areas where I go into detail about what a roadblock looks like and what organizing or gaining perspective looks like. And I want you to study those areas. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to get a pen and a pad, and I just want you to sit in quiet and reflect. Just simply reflect, okay? Look at what you can discover about yourself. Look at the trends that you can explore and understand, and begin to ask yourself what needs to be removed and replaced and what needs to be amplified. Then put in, of course, daily actions, and as you do so, all of a sudden you're going to start getting like a choo-choo train, right? You're going to start getting this momentum, okay? That's how you become unstoppable. You have to build the momentum, okay? However, if you're still at the train station, right, waiting for the train to just go because you haven't put enough coal in the engine, so to speak, right? Or you haven't let the conductor hop on, okay? If those areas aren't there, then your train's never going to leave the station, all right? And we want to get your train to leave the station. We want your train to leave the station, and we also want you to never have to stop ever again, all right? I hope that helped. I was trying not to be too overly confusing, but I think it's important to understand those two concepts, and that'll fix that problem for you. All right, question number 2 is a really important one, and I think it's something that we probably all feel on the inside, at least at one time or another, if not for much of our young adult and our adolescent life. And unfortunately, if it's left unchecked, it will absolutely bleed into your adult life, which then sabotages your relationship, sabotages your finance, and sabotages your possibilities. And here's the question. I don't feel special. What do I have to offer? I've kind of touched on this before with a similar question, actually in this series not long ago, about worth, about this sense of purpose and having value in the world, right? I know what it's like to grow up in an environment where you are struggling to find value, or because people that should value you don't affirm you, okay? I know what it's like to feel like you've been abandoned. Like maybe there was somebody that you thought should be close to you that you were really counting on that up and left. I know some of you have lost parents. I know some of you have lost siblings. I know some of you have lost best friends, right? All of these moments in life tend to shape us up to believe a lie that somehow we don't have value or somehow we don't have something special to offer the world. I would say it this way, and I've said this before on previous Q&As, is there are 3 great purposes in life, okay? All of them, all three of the great purposes in life are born out of adversity and searching for identity, okay? The 3 greatest purposes in life are serving the person you used to be. So think about yourself right now and the things that you're not happy with and all the things that you're struggling with. Jot those things down and then put it in a book, okay? Do what I'm teaching you to do. Come to our events, come spend time with us, and you will look back at that 12 months from now, if not sooner, and see that things have changed, all right? The next purpose in life is serving the person you once loved, which might be someone that you lost, okay? In some respects, I'm sorry. Absolutely. It might be someone that you lost, okay? The other side of things is there is the next purpose of life, which is actually losing someone, right? I've talked about a guy by the name of Todd White, who is a amazing evangelist in the Christian community for faith, okay? Very hardened, very fire-driven, very passionate, super deep, has a deep level of empathy and searching and all kinds of stuff that can only be described as a God-given gift and talent, right? It's there. What most people don't fully understand and fully gravitate towards is, I personally believe that a lot of that fire that he has to help people uncover actually has to do with the fact that he was unable to help his best friend before he passed away. He never got the chance to engage, and he never got the chance to talk, and he never got the chance to share, right? So it drove him because he lost his best friend. I personally believe it's one of the motivating factors of why he's so effective as an evangelist, okay? Why is that important? Because many of us don't actually discover our true sense of identity, authenticity, and self-worth until after the other side of a piece of adversity, okay? It doesn't matter what that adversity is, okay? We've been helping people that have actually been formerly sex trafficked. We've helped people that have had difficult divorces. We've helped people that have been professional athletes and CEOs and all this kind of stuff, right? Everybody was searching for answers to major questions in life. Who am I? Why am I here? What do I do about it? Everybody on the planet is asking those questions, okay? However, only a handful of people actually take the time to do the necessary work to discover those things. So it's really not a question about whether or not you feel special or whether or not you have value, because you do. I mean, you do. There's no other way around it. You do have value and you are special. And you have an impact that is inside of you that we just need to discover. We need to work together to discover what that is. Make it tangible, make it actionable, make it possible. The question is the wrong question. Okay? The question is, how can I uncover who I am? How can I uncover what drives me? How can I uncover what makes me unique, my tendencies, my talents, my gifts, my strengths? How do I uncover that? That's the question. Not whether or not you have value or whether or not you are special, because you are. The difference is have you done the homework to discover that for yourself? Because I promise you, there's nothing, absolutely nothing more freeing than that. There's nothing more freeing than understanding who you are at your core. And then when you can merge that with what you're supposed to do with that piece of information and the impact that you might make in your home or your community or even on the world stage, okay? When you discover that, life looks completely different than how you feel right now. Completely different. So please hear my heart. I'm not taking one second of grant. I'm taking for granted 1 second where you are and what you're feeling, all right? What I am doing is I'm saying is you cannot stay there. You cannot stay there, right? You shouldn't have to go through life feeling the way you feel right now simply because you don't know any better. The information is out there. The information in many cases is here. We have a step-by-step life mastery process that helps you uncover who you are, why you're here, and what you do about it. Right? That helps you uncover how to amplify that strength that's inside of you that you simply haven't discovered yet. So again, the question is not, I don't feel special, what do I have to offer? Right? That's not the question. That's not the topic. The topic or the question really is how can we come alongside of you to help you discover that for yourself? One of the easiest things I'd suggest you do is I want you to take the time to go to journeyprinciples.com/resources. Okay? When you go there, you're going to see a bunch of free stuff, essentially free resources that take advantage of. Okay? I want you to bypass everything else on the page except for the one that's called Understanding What Drives You. Okay? I want you to go and get that one specifically. I want you to digest what I've written there, and I want you to take the free personality assessment that comes with it. Okay? After that, I want you to connect with us, and so we can help you interpret it and help you understand why you are special and show you that you have value, and then show you how to use that value to help other people. You've got this. You do. You can do this. I'm serious. I know it seems scary. I know it seems frustrating. I know you're like, I don't know if I want to take. I'm telling you, it's a step you cannot take. Like it's a step, meaning it's a step that you can not, in parentheses or quotes, take. You have to take this step. Otherwise, 5 years from now, a year from now, 10 years from now, you're going to be feeling the exact same way you feel right now. Right? You can't go through your life feeling hopeless and like there's no hope. Instead, take ownership. Reclaim it. Take back ownership of your life. The information's here. We are more than willing to share with you everything and anything that we have to help you. All right, guys, the next question. All right. Why does it always seem to work for everyone else but not for me? This is a big one because it's happening. It's a prevailing problem in our entire country right now, all right? And of course, I live in the great, wonderful country of the USA. We have a major, major, major problem in this country with comparison. People on social media only put up the best of themselves on social media, okay? When they, for example, some of the stuff that you see on Instagram that has my face on it, with I'm like, some special smile, right? Those are professionally taken photos. Okay, you're not seeing me in my work clothes when I was renovating my attic. Okay, you see some of the things that I've been able to achieve because I've been working on my life for so long, but you don't see all the sacrifices and all the pain and the adversity that I had to go through to get there. Okay, you cannot compare yourself to other people. You don't know what price they've paid. You don't know where they come from. You can't do that. The longer you're looking at someone else, the more difficult it is it's going to be for you to focus on where you are headed. I use a car example all the time, right? If you're driving the car and you're focused on the passenger next to you, what's going to happen with the car? You're not going to have any clue where you're going, okay? It's very, very important to focus on what you want for your life. It's very important for you to create a plan to get what you want out of life. It's very important for you to discover who you are at your core so you can leverage that for your future. These are types of things that you've got to begin to lean into. So the question again is not, why does it work for everybody else and it doesn't work for me? It's because you're focused on the wrong thing. You're focused on everybody else. Not breaking free, not overcoming your blind spots, not removing your roadblocks, not growing yourself and maturing yourself and becoming more of yourself. You have to do these things. You have to do these things, and you can't focus on the people while you do it. I cannot tell you how many times I was crying in my bedroom floor, or crying in my closet, or whatever, the different places that I had to go emotionally to understand that it was up to me to build me. It wasn't up to my dad or my mom or my brothers or my sisters or my employer. It was up to me to build me. It was up to me to uncover what it is I wanted to do with my life. It was up to me to understand what I needed to change about my life. And then I began to read. Then I began to get mentored. Then I began to watch videos and listen to podcasts and all these different tools. Like, there's never been a better time in history to become the person you want to be. You have information at your fingertips everywhere, including here. So, please hear my heart. Please know that I love you and I believe in you, and I'm not trying to beat on you, I promise, right? I went through the very same scenario. I've experienced the very same problems, the very same questions of my heart and my mind, which is why I use the word discover. I discovered that I needed to blank. What can you discover while not focusing on other people about yourself that you can begin to shape yourself? And if you feel like you're still stuck and you feel like you still can't take that step, then I invite you to connect with us, okay? On social media, you can email us at questions@journeyprinciples.com, but whatever you do, connect with us. Let us begin to help you understand these areas, uncover these roadblocks, remove those boogers, and get on to living with a passionate life. All right, the choice is yours. Take the step, stop focusing on other people, and good things will happen. Final question is a great, valid question, okay? And it's one that we hear in a variety of different ways on a fairly regular basis, which is, how am I supposed to take action on something I don't understand? All right, the question is, again, how am I supposed to take action on something I don't understand? You're not. You're not supposed to take action necessarily on something you don't understand, unless you're stuck in analysis paralysis. Let me explain. Before I take any massive action, before I actually commit to something and I apply all of my diligence and all my focus and all my intentions behind a specific action and or event, I have already done some research within myself and with what I'm after, okay? We've talked about this a lot of times. You're probably hearing me tired of me saying this, but gaining perspective, okay? My good friend, Chris Lacroto, taught me this important factor of gaining perspective, looking at things from as many different angles as you possibly can, okay? The reason we do that, and the reason we don't just go with our knee-jerk reaction, the reason we do that is because it's going to give us more understanding. We are going to understand more than we did before, okay? And if I still don't understand what I'm doing, right, I'm going to hire a coach or a mentor. I'm going to get someone to help me understand in an area that I'm weak, in an area that they're strong. I have no problems telling you that I today, even right now, have mentors and coaches. I have people coaching me right now that are trying to help me understand the best way to reach the most people, okay? That's an important piece, all right? So if you want to take massive action, right? You want to take action. You want to get results. You want to get that stuff. I need you to understand it's okay to not understand, but it's not okay to use that as an excuse not to learn. Okay? It's okay that you don't understand, but it's not okay that you're not learning. Okay? So the question shifts from not understanding, not being able to take action, to what do I need to learn in order to take the necessary action? All right? Change the question in your mind. You're going to get a lot better answer, I should say. A lot better answer. And that's going to help make you unstoppable. All right. I hope you enjoyed the question and answer session for today. If you want your question answered on a future episode or here or on Instagram, go ahead and email me at questions@journeyprinciples.com, and I'll be happy to take the time to answer it the best way possible so you can begin to win in your life. Thanks again for watching.